One Star Cowboys podcast, presented by Haymaker. Now here's your host, Kevin Casey Turner.
Hello world, it is the One Star Cowboys podcast. I'm Kevin Turner with John Machota, Saad Youssef, and Kenton Garrison. Of course, Saad and John over at The Athletic. We're live at the Haymaker Network studios in Frisco, Texas. And, a lot of Cowboys stuff to get to. Last week, in our midweek episode, we got to the Matt Eberflus firing, and there were some things that actually got shelved. And there's some even more things that are going to get shelved, because there's actually a lot of news. The offseason has officially began because we have a Dallas Cowboys player being arrested. So, we still kind of waiting on more details on that. I would just like to admit to our audience out there that I am guilty of recklessly driving on the tollway as well. I've done that before. And if you're watching, you probably have to. So, want to just get a clean slate. Think we're fine there, short fine. These guys drive fast sometimes, you know?
So, when I saw the report, I immediately thought the tollway.
Of course.
That's where that stuff goes down. But anyway, thinking of that, though, it made me think of, I don't know if he said this on the record or off the record, so maybe I shouldn't say it, but I'll just say it anyway. Mike McCarthy, I remember, this is like 2 or 3 years ago, talking to like a group of us about how scared he was when he would come back after road games, when, they fly back right after the game's over. And when they land at DFW, obviously they're flying on their own, and so they're in a different whole area, parking lot and stuff like that, and just the way that the players would pull out and drive down the freeway after they left. Like, he was legitimately scared when he was talking about it. He's like, that's my biggest worry. Like, to the point where I'm pretty sure that the conversation was a lot about how, you worry about players, like the partying aspect and all that stuff like that. And that was totally secondary to him, to just how the players drive and things like that, which obviously is a big case and very common in memes about the Georgia football team. It seems like every time that there's some type of arrest or something for the Bulldogs, it's something speeding or whatever. And I'll never forget that, because you could tell he was legitimately concerned about that, and how he's talked to the team about it, and how it didn't really seem to have that big of an impact.
No, and I've actually been clipped coming back from a Cowboys road game before.
What?
Yeah, this was like back in 2018 or something, because you come back and these are late night games. It was a Sunday night game, I think, that I went to, because when I was at the other station, like I would go on the Cowboys charter to some games, and I came back and it wasn't anything super bad, but it was Sunday night game, so you come back, it's like 3 a.m. and like John said, these players are just speeding, and then, like, it's a separate terminal, so you're all, and like there's this long road. And before you even get on the highway, the players,
they're flying.
And when it's this long road in this separate terminal, it's not even like there's no police. You're not scared of getting pulled over.
Yeah.
You're just blazing through. It's crazy. And yeah, I got clipped once coming on that street, not on the highway. So it wasn't like super.
Well, yeah, we figured that you're still here.
You know what I always used to worry about, John, is when we would get home from a road game on the charter for like a day game that the Cowboys won. And they would just immediately go from the plane and be like, we're going to the club. And they'd all just speed down into Dallas. I'm like, oh, maybe we get some Ubers to pick you guys up and take you home,
Did you go with them?
I did.
Did you go to the candle room?
I was Dax +1 at Purgatory.
Purgatory. Still no defensive coordinator. So I'll figure all that out. It's been weird because the coaching carousel is all happening. Harbaugh and Tomlin out. You have all these things. So head coaching jobs are up there first. That's going to be priority and all that stuff. Cowboys still doing a lot of interviews for defensive coordinator, but I don't know. When do you expect a solution on that?
Probably not this week. I would think that there's probably wanting to wait a little bit longer to interview a few more candidates, but I think maybe next week, early next week, we could have something. Out of all the candidates that they've either interviewed or scheduled to interview, I think there's a couple names that stand out among the rest that puts them in a good spot. They're going to get someone that I think will be pretty qualified for it, but I think there could be a little bit more of, let's see if there's something even better that might come available, especially in a hiring cycle that includes openings of the head coaching jobs of the Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers. That's a big game changer if you're looking for coaching. Like, now, those jobs don't come open very often, and so I'm not saying that that directly impacts the Cowboys, but there is a trickle down of movement that will happen when stuff like that happens, because we see it in college football. It's not often in like the same cycle. You get like Alabama and several other big schools all becoming available at the same time, and that's becoming more and more common. So because of that, I think it would be in their best interest to wait a little bit. But if they have a clear-cut candidate and they're just going through the motions, then yeah, why wait? Hire that guy.
Yeah, I also think Senior Bowl is really when you want to have your guy in place, and that's 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks before the Senior Bowl, and then the Combine a few weeks after that. So that's when things really get rolling. But they have time right now, and it's good that they're interviewing a variety of candidates. That's what we want.
It's interesting that's your cutoff. My cutoff is the East-West Shrine game. That's just a me thing. What's your favorite just machination of all these head coach openings of something that would be fun? Like for me, I threw out before the show, Cliff Kingsbury reunites with Kyler Murray in Pittsburgh or something like that. Now, Cliff Kingsbury did an interview for the Baltimore job. I don't think Cliff Kingsbury is going to get a head coach job, by the way. I'm just trying to create fun. Is there anything you've thought of that would make sense? It would be interesting or fun?
John Harbaugh to the Steelers.
Oh, that'd be great.
Just because you don't really see a coach that's a longtime coach then go to like their biggest rival. I don't think Mike Tomlin's going to coach this year, so that's the only reason for him. I wouldn't put him like going to the Ravens or something else, but he would be very interesting to me on any team. You could put him in any scenario, and I would be, well, maybe not the Titans. I'm not really interested in what's going on there, but just about any other one, I'd be fascinated by that. And then wherever. I don't think Mike McDaniel gets another head coaching job in this cycle, so whoever he is the OC for, I think is huge,
Okay.
whether it be a Detroit or Philadelphia. I think that could be massive, so that would probably be the other one.
Yeah, you stole that one from me. For me, it's not really the head coaching job. For me, it's the OCs of the Eagles and the Lions, because if Mike McDaniel gets one of those or whoever, those two offenses are so talented, and those two teams are such contenders that hire, a head coaching job like John Harbaugh, say, getting the Giants job, I think that in the long term changes the culture and outlook of that organization. But in terms of 2026, if the Lions and Eagles get the OC job right, I mean, that's an instant, not just playoffs, that's Super Bowl contender. So
No Mike McCarthy in this cycle?
Oh, no, he could be.
There's 8 openings.
There's a lot of openings, so
It
I
just
could
feels
see
like
him
it's
getting the Titans. I could see him getting the Giants job. The thing is, like I said, if Mike Tomlin was going to coach this year, I would put Mike Tomlin ahead of Mike McCarthy. But with Tomlin out, other than John Harbaugh, who's clearly above Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I don't know that. I don't know that.
yeah,
It's been somebody's going to get a job. Like Chris Shula comes in and gets a job, and it's like, well, there's a spot that was maybe McCarthy, not Miami in general, but like Matt Nagy's getting these interviews, and you're like, well, hold on, are they really going to do that? So there are a bunch of names that are going to get thrown out there that just kind of moves him down a peg.
I think Vance Joseph could be interesting too.
Vance Joseph, yes.
Yeah,
Flores,
Having the time of his life.
our defensive guys, Flores. Just be interested if the Cowboys were going to try to interview Raheem Morris, just to see, but who knows? We'll find out. A lot of interviews and stuff going on and things like that. You have Jonathan Gannon, former Cardinals head coach, that they're interested in him. We had a meeting with Zach Orr, the DC for the Ravens, and North Tex is great. So everyone just remember that he went to UNT. But that's all we should do. I've got an exercise for us to do today, guys. Not physical activity, don't worry. It's a little should they stay or should they go, looking at the Cowboys' unrestricted free agents. And I think our goal here today is to get to 5 or to 6 of these collectively, okay? So we might have to have a war room argument type thing. So 5 or 6 names, and let's see if we can stick there and pay a reasonable price for these guys. Starting with, we'll just go alphabetical order so that we're not leaning in terms of favor anyone. Hakeem Denijay. Okay, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is anyone trying to put their? I'm not saying we all have 5 votes. Is anyone interested, or
Yeah, I'm very interested. Okay. There's not a player that you could tell me that I'm not interested in. I tell people this all the time. Oh yeah, just tell me what the price is.
I can find
at any
guys.
price. I can retain any player.
Corey Ballantyne.
Yeah, at the right price if they really want to have him back. I don't know that he's done enough that they would want to, but you get cheap enough, yeah, absolutely.
But for this exercise, I'm trying to get us down to 5 here. Corey Ballantyne, let's go.
I don't know how many names that you're putting out there, but yeah.
16 names I'm going to throw out here.
And you want me to keep 5 or 6?
And we're going to try to get to 5.
Okay, I think Adeniji will probably be on there for me.
Okay, let's get Ballantyne out.
I think he's good depth.
Yeah,
Jadeveon Clowney?
absolutely.
Yeah, no question.
Again, the only issue can be if you're getting into a bidding war or something. I
Sure.
don't expect that to be out there. And I don't really think that I would want to get into a bidding war that eclipses a certain price tag. But by default, yeah, absolutely, Jadeveon Clowney.
And as long as he agrees not to wear number 42.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah.
Well, I do think that he really liked it here and he wants to stay here, but that's not knowing what's available on the open market. It only takes one team to throw him some massive, 2-3 year deal that everyone's like, "Are you serious?" Right? And he's like, "Oh, obviously I'm taking this."
What do you guys want me to
I've
do?
always loved Nashville.
A lot of teams.
It's kind of like when DeMarcus Lawrence went to Seattle. It was like you were never going to pay that price.
Yeah.
So
a lot of teams are going to have just a bunch of extra cap money they need to spend anyways. So, Dante Fowler.
Again, I'm not super interested, but there's a price on a 1-year deal. No doubt I can bring him back.
We have 5 premium positions here, 5 premium spots.
Out of everybody, I'm keeping these
keeping them
all
open
in my head right now. And so far, the only one that
All right.
is a must is Jadeveon Clowney. But go on.
So doors open though on these 3.
Yeah.
we got it down to 3. CJ Goodwin. I'm personally ready to move on, but that's no offense to him. He's like,
Yeah.
I just don't.
Everybody loves him in the locker room, and he wouldn't cost very much. So that's just an easy in or out
Okay.
on that.
We'll leave the door open. Brock Hoffman,
yeah, I mean,
door open.
yeah.
I mean, he's going to be back.
Yeah.
Brock Hoffman and TJ Bass are unrestricted. They're going to do enough to keep both those guys.
Robert Jones.
Yeah, you can move on.
I'm not
Yeah.
trying to. We'll just move on. I'm shutting the door on Robert Jones.
Yeah.
I'm going to shut the door on Kenneth Murray.
Yeah, that's very fair.
absolutely.
Well, obviously we're
All
going.
right, you came up with somebody that the dollar amount would not interest.
See what
Yes.
I'm telling you?
Good, okay.
Maybe this
You
list,
did it. You did it. It's honestly the first time ever in my life you came up with somebody. Okay, that's fine.
Maybe the list of 16,
Actually-
we get it down to 8, and then we're going to have to get it down to
You know
5.
what? I take that back. If they didn't trade, or if they didn't let go of Trayvon Diggs, I would have said that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The dollar amount wouldn't have mattered
Sure.
there. It just best to part ways there. So I shouldn't say never, but usually
Yeah.
you can give me the right dollar amount and I can bring anybody back.
Doors open on George Pickens, obviously. We don't have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Jack Sanborn.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
All right, we'll close the door on
The
Sanborn.
whole pull was that he was an Eberflus guy. If Eberflus isn't here, then what are we doing?
Okay, here's a door, and I'm interested to see if this door is creaking. Miles Sanders.
No, we're good.
No.
All right, we're going to close the door on Miles Sanders right there. See, this is working for Jalen Tolbert.
I'm
Yeah.
good.
We're closing the doors on Jalen Tolbert. Peyton Turner.
I mean, he'll be real cheap regardless, but I mean, I think you can find another Payne Turner.
We're going to close the door.
Yeah.
You've only named 2 people that I'm like, you got to get, and that's Jadeveon Clowney and George Pickens.
Well, that says something, I think. But Donovan Wilson.
The problem is the way that they approach the safety position in general. I don't know what they're going to do to replace him, but he's an absolute liability in pass coverage, but he's a guy you can put out there at starter and just he can be a starter.
Yeah, that
Starter
one
in the league.
That one depends on the DC. If the DC really wants him, I'm fine with it. If they don't, they want to go in a different direction at safety, I'm not losing any sleep over it. But I do think, especially when you watch games when they're going on, like on Twitter, I do think he takes more hate than he deserves. Like
Yeah.
almost like he doesn't bring anything to the table, and that's not true at all. I mean,
It's been that way since.
you think you know more on the outside than they do on the team, and he was one of their captains. So clearly they think he brings
Yeah.
more than what is thought on the outside. So
I think
I don't want to act like, oh yeah, just move on. It's not a big loss or whatever. They do like him.
it's been that observation on him really since his second year.
Yeah.
Because in year one, I think there was like some excitement of like what he did because he was day 3 pick, and I mean I remember a time we were going to look who Will McClay found and all this stuff, and then you start. I think it's this thing of like tenure when you see the same thing a few times over and over again, like Marquise Bell getting torched on a crosser. You're like, I don't need to see that again.
Yeah.
Seen it enough. Well, it's not Marquise Bell's fault. It kind of is, but like, he's taken a lot of it, and it's in our head a lot more.
You know what I think of when I think of Donovan Wilson? He's the leader in the clubhouse since I've covered the team, and he might be for all time, for as long as he's played, as little as he's talked to the media.
Yeah.
Like he does not talk to. doesn't fire off on people on social media, like just keeps to himself. But he's a sleeper in terms of, like, he's not somebody that you'd want to fist fight at a practice.
Yeah.
And I will always remember a practice out at training camp when him and Jake Ferguson got into it. And you could tell Jake Ferguson wanted nothing to do with that. And Jake Ferguson, to me, we're just walking around the streets of Dallas. He's pretty high on my list of guys that I want to be like, hey, if we're going to get in a scrap with some other people, I want Jake Ferguson on my side. And the way he didn't want any part of Donovan Wilson, I was like, that's scary.
That says
like
something.
Nothing to do with
It was the last practice of 2024, and we were standing right behind the end zone, and he said something like, "You Travis Kelce wannabe."
Oh,
I don't remember hearing that, but
Gosh.
I know that he wanted.
beautiful.
He
I mean,
wanted to see if
there was that was a moment.
it was fun.
for that story alone, we'll leave the door open on Donovan
Yeah.
Wilson.
Is
He's
Jake Ferguson the one with the other Cavender?
Yes.
Yes.
That is correct.
So it's Carson Beck. It was Carson Beck and Jake Ferguson. They could have been brothers-in-law.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But also Donovan Wilson,
Interesting.
he's a strong safety, and I think you also have to grade him for that in terms of his pass coverage not being great. I mean, it's fine. You can deal with that. Now, keep in mind, you're not going to mention Malik Hooker here, but Malik Hooker is coming up next year. So if you're going to look at a safety turnover, and if you're starting to do that from your duo, then Donovan Wilson's up this year, Malik Hooker next year. Donovan Wilson always kind of reminded me growing up watching Roy Williams. A different version of that, kind of a hammer safety guy that plays down low a little bit. So
Javonte Williams, clearly the door's open here.
So we got 3 guys now that
Oh, hold on. My list is still at 7 or 8. Sam Williams is our last one.
he is the very first name I thought of when I said to you that there is a dollar amount with me for everybody, because I think Sam Williams, to most people, will be like, no, this is done. No, if it 1-year deal, prove it, real cheap, few $1 million, I'd be interested.
okay, stock is low enough to where you could probably get a good price on him.
So
And there are things that he does from time to time that, well, some might be foolish, but I'm talking about on the field where I'm like, there is something there. There are things that he does from time to time. This is the best way I can describe it. I think you'd agree with me on this. There were very few, if ever, times that I ever saw Kelvin Joseph do anything that I was like, oh, that's why that guy's a borderline first, second round pick. Never saw anything like that from Ozzie Smith. Never saw anything like that from Tristan Hill. Mm-hmm. There are some times where Sam Williams will do some things. You'd be like, oh, I can see why somebody would take him in the second round.
Yeah.
just juice off the edge,
Absolutely. Like there is something. He definitely has some playmaking build in the
which we don't have any.
training camp this year. One of the last practices when he picked off Dak in the end zone, and just how quickly he got 100 yards up the field to the other end zone. Like, I mean, there's something there for sure. Where I can see it'd be worth it if you brought him back from maybe a 1-year deal.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of Randy Gregory a little bit, to where in terms of, second round pick, you see the talent. I think Randy Gregory got some time opposite of either Micah or DeMarcus or something, and had a really good year. I think it was Micah. He got a year opposite of him. I think if Sam Williams was meant to be opposite of Micah, and I think Sam Williams would be a lot better. I think his stock would be a lot higher opposite of Micah, but the way he is now, he has flashes.
Luke Schoonmaker, also another one that, being a second round pick, I've never seen anything where I was like, he's good enough to be I expect him to be on the team. I think their 3 tight ends are set. Yeah, they're set. They don't really need to add another one. They'll probably have 3 on the 53. If those 3 guys stay healthy, then he's on the team. But there's never any flash that he's made where you're like, oh, I can see why he'd be a second round pick.
Yeah.
We're all asking that question the day I got drafted. I thought we were like, do we really need a second tight end right now?
Yeah, but tight end is a weird one, because there are things that, just because he didn't maybe flash as Brock Bowers in college, there are things that certain Jake Ferguson's a 4th round pick that coaches see, and they're like, hey, but I can utilize him like this, and he blocks, and he can do these other things. We could really turn him into something. And just use those 2. Yeah. Just use the 3 that's in the room. Jake Ferguson, 4th round. Luke Schoonmaker, 2nd. Brevin Spanford, undrafted. There's nothing about Brevin Spanford that thinks he should be undrafted. That guy should absolutely have been a draft pick.
That's what. Well, go ahead.
Also, real quick, just at the time that they drafted Schoonmaker, I didn't love the pick, but I also was following a logic of all right, post Witten, it was Jarwin, and then it was Dalton Schultz came in. Instead of paying Dalton Schultz, you had the next guy in Jake Ferguson. I thought it was probably at the time I thought they were leaning towards maybe, all right, once Ferguson's done, we're going to let him go. Schoonmaker's going to be the next guy in line. The fact that Schoonmaker didn't show anything, then they had to pay Ferguson. I think that's what kind of throws off the whole plan at tight end a little bit, because Schoonmaker to me now is, just from the outside looking in, a clear number 3 now. I think Spanford is 2.
And this is where, draft philosophy can go all over the road sometimes. But I do think like there's a big discussion about, well, you don't just draft for need, go look at your board and all that stuff. I do think need becomes way more important when you've already paid your quarterback. And they had at the time. They were still in the first Dak contract. But I think like teams on rookie quarterbacks, yeah, you can kind of mess around and get ahead of some things and do some things like that. We had at the time, the Cowboys had a need on the offensive line that was kind of glaring. It felt like they could have used a guard. And, it's not like I'm not doing the whole, you can go back and see who was drafted. We can do that with every draft pick in the history of the world. I'm not doing that. It's at the time going, oh, that's an interesting thing to do right now at this time where this team is. But whatever. I've got us down to 9 names now. I'm trying to get to 5. If we need to burn one on a franchise tag, we can.
So what are your 9?
Oh, I guess I should have put Brandon Aubrey on here as well.
Yeah,
right?
he's restricted, so you wouldn't.
It was restricted, so we're good. Okay, so what I would like to do is run this by you. Let's go ahead and get rid of C.J. Goodwin. You guys okay with that?
Yeah, if you're
he's going to probably be on the team, but okay, sure.
Oh man, but now it's stopping me from getting to my 5.
All right.
Doesn't their draft mentality have a lot to do with this too?
How so?
Free agency comes
Position
first.
depth in the draft. How easily can we replace a guy this good or better in the draft?
Sure.
I'm thinking of Donovan Wilson specifically.
Okay. Yeah, that for sure. But I think Donovan Wilson has a lot to do with whatever the next defensive coordinator wants.
Yeah.
Because when I think of Sam Williams or the Dante Fowler or Jadeveon Clowney, that's 3 DNs right there. You're super thin at DN. So that's why you can make a case for some of those guys. It's different going into last season. You were pretty deep at DN.
Okay, so they're not keeping 3 of those guys, so let's get rid of one of those guys.
The
Fowler.
DNs?
Sam Williams, Fowler, Clowney.
Fowler would be my pick out of the 3.
Let's get rid of Fowler.
Really, I understand you're trying to get down to 5, but I'm just saying there's only 2 that are really, and it's really Clowney and Pickens for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would also put Javonte Williams in there.
Yeah.
Well, it feels like that's a done deal. Not a done deal, but they're going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Work on a
3,
deal
so
with
you
him.
only have 2 spots open.
Is
What we're trying to get at.
Javonte Williams, Pickens, Clowney. See, Clowney, I think, could be least likely to stay, though, because of another team and him doing the whole, we'll take more money.
Yeah. But we don't know what those teams are offering for this game. So we're at 3 right now, and you want to get to 5. So
we need to get rid of one of Brock Hoffman or Hakeem.
Yeah. Adenijay's gone. Yeah.
Adenijay's gone. Okay, there we go. See, now
we got 4.
Down to 8 here.
Honestly, this would have been way easier if you just read off all the names, and I could have just told you right off the bat. It wouldn't even be difficult. But go on.
KT.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I feel like this is a segment that you did on another show where somebody got frustrated.
Maybe.
Yeah, I heard this on the Eagle the other day. Actually.
No, our segments are 6 minutes long. This has gone about 36 minutes. All right, so whatever. We got down to some people they might keep. Moving on.
You did all the names?
Hmm?
You did all the names?
What do you mean?
You read off all the 16?
What? Today?
Right now. We're done? And so we didn't get to 5. We only have 4.
I know, but I'm at 8 on the list right now.
My mind is
I'm
in a
confused.
pretzel.
Yeah, sorry, listener.
It is confusing.
This is why this is a 1-star podcast.
You got some unrestricteds in there. You got some restricteds mixed in there.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's what I'm saying. Brock Hoffman, TJ Bass, Brandon Aubrey are all restricted. So
they're all here.
Yeah, I expect them to be back.
They're all here. Okay, good. I did take, and this is just my way of shifting the blame off somewhere else.
Okay.
I did take a tweet from Bobby Belt listing all the names.
Okay.
And that's how I got here. So this
Damn
is
it,
on you,
Bobby.
Robert.
Oh, my God, Bobby.
Blame Bobby when in doubt.
Blame Bobby Belt. In fact, everyone tweet that out right now. Hashtag blame Bobby Belt. And if you want to text it in to 214-787-1053, they'll probably see it on their text thing, I would imagine. Okay. By the way, we're not going to do picks yet,
Okay.
but a little bit of everyone just keep your off-season plans open because you might be taking a trip to Topeka. Things have shifted Things are heating up with 7 picks left. I don't want to do the Jerry's today. We'll have some Jerry awards. I don't want to do that. Kent, do you have that? Do you have the ability to pull up John's tweet from the other day and
I do.
throw up the X?
I do.
There's a new segment called Throw Up the X, and I like that John has put a tweet out there on The Athletic. Look at that open. If you're listening on the audio side, you can check it out on YouTube. If you want to see the video, see everyone's face on the at the Haymaker Network. You can go follow and subscribe that. But we're going to throw up the X. John put out a tweet last week, and I went and gathered some of the responses as well. And John, one of your tweets, because you have a lot of tweets, by the way, dude. Wow. This is from 9 days ago. What is your dream scenario for the Dallas Cowboys with the 12th overall pick? And that got 540 responses, 186,000 views on Twitter X. You are an algorithm machine, dude. So I collected a few responses. Response 1 comes from
Go F yourself.
Big John Daniel. Big John Daniel, what is his dream scenario for the 12th overall pick? And he said a different GM. So he's taking it seriously. I actually know Big John, and that's a good guy, so it's fine with it. G Butter Smooth weighed in, John, and he says any of these would be fine. Now you just said dream scenario, so you're asking for 1. He gave 6. Arvell Reese, Oklahoma State, Reuben Bain, Caleb Downs. There's where the safety thing could be interesting. If he were to fall at 12.
Yeah.
Amazing, yeah.
Keldrick Falk of Auburn, David Bailey of Texas Tech, and then Peter Woods, defensive lineman of Clemson.
I mean, Caleb Downs, man.
That
would put so
fun.
much pressure on the new DC because you have to be multiple if you have him. If you're not multiple with Caleb Downs on the field, then that's coaching malpractice. So I'll believe it when I see it because it's been such a long time at safety. So that would be wild. But I also think that he's so special that he won't even make it out of the top 10.
I mean, you agree?
I don't think he makes it out of the top 10.
And if he did, I still can't. Maybe I need to get ready for a new era of Dallas Cowboys philosophy or something. I can't even imagine them in my wildest dreams picking a safety for the top 15 pick.
Yeah.
I can't, it's hard to imagine, but I give them a little bit more benefit of the doubt in the draft than it comes to like free agency or something.
Mm-hmm.
Free agency, I feel like I have a very ironclad, strong idea of what they're going to do. They're not going to budge because that's really Jerry in the front office and nobody else. When it comes to the draft, they've always given some leeway to the coordinator, some leeway to Will McClay. There's always more cooks in the kitchen. So to me, I agree with you. I don't see them picking a safety that high. But if you were to tell me this free agent safety is out there, I would say there's no chance. But if it's in the draft, I still think if he makes it out of the top 10 and he's there and Will McClay and whoever the new DC is really in their ear, I could see it happening.
The next person, the last response we'll look at, says they trade it for Max Crosby. What would the Max Crosby, like what does that cost? Like it's not 12 and 20 because they wouldn't do that.
No, they wouldn't do that.
And they shouldn't do that.
I think one
of those.
at least, yeah.
It's definitely going to be at least 1 first-round pick, but a second or third probably needs to go in there too.
Yeah.
You don't have either of those this year?
I'd do it.
I'd do that.
20, a third, and throw in a fifth, and I'd do that all day.
Can you just imagine? Like, now you're giving up a lot of picks, so there's going to be a lot of not drafting. But I'm going to Oxnard, and they have Max Crosby and Caleb Downs.
Gosh.
And Quinnen Williams.
And then with Quinnen Williams and everyone, I mean, yeah, that's that. No, I can't imagine that.
Super Bowl.
And you know which part of that though? Which part of that I can't imagine the most is the Caleb Downs part. Yeah, and not because I don't think Caleb does. I think there's a lot of teams who feel that way about that position.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think slides down and there you go. It's the Max Crosby thing. I'm not saying it's likely at all, but like they liked him pre-draft and whatever year that was. What year was that? 2019?
17?
20?
18?
I have no idea at
18,
this point. The years are, but like they liked him a lot, and I kind of thought they were going to go that direction, and I think he was off the board before they picked. But like that's something that I think I could see them doing. Anything the Cowboys do, like a trade out of nowhere. That's how I think they would probably.
The only thing I'll say is the health
2019.
thing. There's a health factor in there. You know, how do you feel about what he's going to be going forward? Whereas, let's say you can get a D end at 12 that they might look at as, we think he's going to be a really good player. Won't be on that level, obviously, but we also have him under contract for 5 years, and we love the health and think that he's going to be really good for a long period of time. Obviously, it's not Max Crosby, but then you get that player at 12, and then let's say Ruben Bain, and then you don't have to give up all the draft capital to get Max Crosby, and then you also re-sign J.W. and Clowney, and all of a sudden defensive end looks a lot better.
Yeah. Do you like any of those defensive ends more than the other?
I love Ruben Bain.
Yeah, and I think they would clearly love him too. These
Yeah.
defensive ends are kind of weird right now, though. They're all a little bit different.
Yeah.
I know everyone loves David Bailey. I like David Bailey too, but I also don't think he's getting to 12.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
very biased, though. I mean, I'm a Florida State fan, so I've seen
plenty
Bain
of
play a
time.
lot against them, and he's a monster.
I mean, you saw him wear out Ohio State a little
Yeah.
bit, and we'll get to see him against Indiana. I can't believe Miami and Indiana is the college football championship.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I also think that I'm expecting a pretty big jump from Ezraku next year.
Mhm.
Like the way that he played as a rookie
On the field?
On the field, yes.
I was going to say, I don't know if he should be jumping.
Yeah. But the way he played on the field as a rookie, you always heard, especially because of how long we had Mozzie Smith here in Dallas, you always heard about how, hey, it takes time. You have to be patient, not just defensive tackles, but just defensive line in general, because they're going against bigger guys than they're used to at a consistent basis. And for him to do that as a rookie, as Raku, without any Micah Parsons factor on the defensive line, I have very high expectations for him in year 2. So I think that's something I would factor in as well at defensive end.
Yeah, defensive line in the NFL, I would put up as one of the top ones defensively in terms of the transition from college to pro for sure.
Mhm.
Whereas like corner, which obviously a big position of need for them, you can probably make a pretty big impact right away at corner. And then obviously on offense, it's running back for me. Running back is number one for me across the board. Like if you get a guy early enough in the draft, like
Yeah.
that guy. I mean, I'm just thinking of literally, it's all Ohio State guys in my head right now. Zeke here, Judkins, Travion Henderson. Like those guys can hit the ground running.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any scenario where 12 or 20 is an offensive player?
Of course, it's the Cowboys.
Yeesh.
I don't think it's likely, but
Yeah.
I mean, how many times Steven even mentioned?
No, he's a lineman. Yeah.
Don't think it's going to be a offensive lineman, but
Yeah.
other than that, I think, yeah.
Just the fact that Terrence Steele played every game. I mean, how important is that for him? Or do you think they would look at the cap number and all that stuff?
It's possible, but I think you'd need to see a lot from Nate Thomas before you made that move, and I just don't think that will happen. So I think that they, because of the way their offensive line has been for a long time now in terms of not being able to stay healthy, I think they'll talk themselves into keeping Terrence Steele.
Yeah, and also people always are kind of go back and forth on how you would like it, free agency before the draft or draft before free agency, because different teams do it different way, or different leagues do it different ways. But I like free agency before the draft. I like you make this decision, you project it a little bit, and that comes down to Terrence Steele's number, what you want to do with Pickens, how you're going to sign Clowney. Get all that figured out, and then go to the draft and have that plan in place. So,
I just pulled up the 2019 draft just for fun, just because I'm OCD a little bit, and it was 4th round, pick 106 for Max Crosby.
yeah, and he's been very healthy throughout his
Yeah.
entire career. He has not missed many games. He ended the last 2 years on IR, but that was at the very end of the season,
And they're
so-
never playing for anything, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, you know.
So,
I because he's been pretty adamant, like wanting to stay there and build it up in Vegas and do all that. But I mean,
he's got sour at the end there.
it
this
just
year.
makes a lot of sense for where they're at too, to try to get. Yeah, I don't know. The Cowboys in the 3rd round of that pick, and I hate doing this. I said it earlier, but do you guys remember who the Cowboys took in the 3rd round and with pick 90 in that draft 2019? There's no way you remember.
Quinn
Sean
Fontana
Wright?
or
Yeah, Sean
something?
Wright.
No.
Who?
Do you actually remember who the first pick was in 2019?
2019 would have been.
I used to be able to do this.
This
but
was
I've gotten
before
old.
CD
Sort
Lamb.
of
Leighton Vander Esch.
Well, the overall, yeah, for the Cowboys, it was Wait.
No, 19 might have been Tristan Hill.
2019, they didn't
They
have
didn't have
one.
one. It was
because
Tristan Hill.
the Amari
yeah.
Cooper trade, right?
Yeah.
18 was Lane Vanders.
2019, Kyler Murray was your number 1 pick. Quentin Williams was your number 3 pick.
Hmm.
Yes, that would have been Tristan Hill, and it would have been Connor McGovern.
Mhm.
So
Good player. It's fine.
fine.
Second best
he
Connor
just
McGovern.
signed with someone, right?
Yeah,
He
but
went-
for a 3rd round pick, you'd be happy with that. I mean, look at how little they've gotten from the Matt Waletzkos and the
Josh Ball.
yeah.
it was like 4th, right? Or
Yeah.
fifth.
Yeah. I mean, got nothing.
Yeah. All right, that's fine. I had enough the 2019 draft. And you guessing who went number 2 in the 2019 draft? Kyler Murray went first. Quentin Williams went 3rd.
Was this the DFW draft? No, that was 2017.
No, 2019 was. I don't know where it was.
Yeah, that was Myles Garrett.
That was Nick Bosa right
Oh.
there, number 2. Nick Bosa 2. All right, let's do some picks here. Divisional playoffs coming at us. Did you guys enjoy Wild Card Week?
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Took-
Except for the last 2 games, but
Still a quote from another show I heard this week from Bill Jones. What was your favorite game this weekend?
I don't have favorites. When you've been doing this as long as we have, you don't have favorites,
Yeah.
DT.
That's true.
You're a professional.
Yeah.
You have integrity.
I think it's clearly Bears Packers, but
yeah, of course.
Bears, Packers, and Panthers, Rams. Really good too.
So we're gonna get. Let me just update the standings here. John, first place still, so sitting comfortably. There's only 7 games left in the NFL year, and we're not doing anything for the Pro Bowl. John, 28. Sod, you and I have moved up to second place at 26. Kent,
Okay.
What happened?
what happened is you went 1-5 last week,
Oh.
and so Kent's at 25. But you got that Panthers cover.
Yeah, I did. I took Carolina.
You had the Panthers covered, and that's it. So we will start with you, John, in first place. If you guys are okay with this, I've made I took a little control of the Denver and the Buffalo game because it was Denver -1. I've changed that to Denver -0.5 point. I don't want any whole numbers.
let me look.
If y'all just want to make it a pick 'em, we can. Well, when I went to the Athletic too, it showed that 100% of the Athletic experts so far had picked Buffalo. So I was like, well, Denver's still getting,
See, I think there was a Broncos, fan account or something that said David, like they were like David in the David versus Goliath.
oh, I was like, you're the 1
You're
seed
the 1 seed.
at home. What are you talking about?
They're getting ripped on that.
So I'm going to do Denver. Still,
that's so good.
still
Such a good matchup.
the
man.
favorite by
Wow.
0.5 point. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo will be on the call.
Yeah,
That's
Tony's
the worst part
take-
of the game.
Tony's taking some heat this week.
Holy shit, he sucks.
It's got
Jesus, Todd.
it's gotten bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Denver. That is such a tough place to play, and their defense is nasty. And I mean, this should be Buffalo's year to go to the Super Bowl with the way everything happened, but I like the Broncos.
There is something
And
weird. They don't feel.
Sean Payton annoys me, so if I'm wrong, I'll be happy.
He annoys me
He's
too.
so smart.
Why does he
knows
annoy me? Yeah,
everything? Like,
I
how
agree.
many Super Bowls has he won? Like, he's got to be going for like 13 now, right? Oh my God. The way he was talking to that reporter about
Yeah,
the Dre
but-
Greenlaw thing, get over yourself, nerd. Oh my God. He's just asking. Everybody talks like that. Like when you come downhill to stop the run. And the way he was like, do you know what that means? What do you mean coming down the hill? Okay. We forgot. You invented football, Sean. Calm down.
Yeah, the guys that do that stuff it's just never cool to me. I mean, there's like the thing like, well, you lose your cool, but like he's got a history of kind of being pretty smug. So
Yeah.
there you go. Sod.
It feels like it should be Denver, and then you always have those quarterbacks who will go on those special runs, and it's not even special quarterbacks all the time, like Eli Manning, Joe Flacco, whatever. I don't know. The Bills lost 2 more receivers now to torn ACLs. It's just hard to see them getting through that defense, so I'm going to take the Broncos as well.
Denver minus.
And I love Josh Allen,
0.5.
so if I'm wrong, I'll love that. I'll be
You don't
happy.
love him as much as Tony does.
Tony has been
Yeah.
Tony has regressed quite a bit. On a side note, by the way, if we're talking broadcasters for a second,
I love it.
that was the best Tom Brady game
Yeah.
I have seen. I haven't watched every single one of them, but I've watched a lot, and that is what you pay. I'm not saying he's still not. I don't think any broadcaster's worth all that, but that's why you pay him the top money for that.
Yeah, usually pay market value and more.
Yeah, that was a good game.
I've all year and even last year, I think every time I watch a game, I go, there's something that if you were a developing quarterback, you could write down that and keep. He says stuff that's in not always, but like specific to quarterbacks. If you're a high school quarterback, so I'd be like, oh, yeah, I would write that down.
But
I would remember that.
His annoying things aren't even that annoying though. Like when he sees a big play happening and he starts going,
like his surgically enhanced cheekbones.
Yeah, so
yeah, the look is different, but I'm saying like when Tony makes those sounds, it curls me up inside. But when Brady does it, you kind of start thinking like, all right, he's seeing something happening or whatever.
He's excited.
He's won Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burkhardt is way more annoying than Brady is.
I 100% agree. I think my Tom Brady complaints is all cosmetic. I think the veneers are making the SHs kind of sound kind of weird there, Kevin. I don't know. But who am I to talk about? I mean, I'm by no means a smooth broadcaster. In fact, one of the least smooth we've ever seen. Kent,
before you give your pick, do you think...
I'm going to chime in on it.
But I just want to ask you this, though, going back to what I said about Sean Payton. How much do you think he's changed since he had Kevin James play him in a movie?
Oh, great point. Life altering. Yeah, that's a great point. I've always had faith in Sean Payton. I think he has a right to be cocky. I think he's one of the greatest coaches of the last 20 years, and what he's done with Denver proves that. So I'm taking Denver, but let me defend my guy Tony Romo here for a second, guys.
Okay.
The hardest thing to do in broadcasting, especially television broadcasting where you're on TV, is be relaxed. Just ask Jason Witten. Just ask Emmitt Smith. Just ask Drew Brees.
Yeah, see, I think he's relaxed.
And Tony Romo is so daggum relaxed
that
it's just like you're hanging out with your boys watching the game. That's what I like about Tony is he doesn't get into quote-unquote broadcast mode. He doesn't turn it on for the camera, right? He's the same guy on camera, off camera. I think John Madden was like that. I'm not comparing him to John Madden, but I just think the relaxed bit of Tony Romo is way underappreciated when you got guys that are so daggum rigid that it's like not personable at all. Does that make sense?
It does, but I will also say that the game has leveled up. When you talk about John Madden, who was his rival? The money they're paying to these former quarterbacks, I get, and you should be like that, and you should be relaxed, but I need you to be
prepared,
definitive about your points too.
Yeah.
I can't have, Jim, they could go for it right now, but they're not. But they're not going to go for say if you think that they should or not. And I think Troy does a great job with that.
Yeah.
And I think Tom, as the more he does it, the more he's like that. And I still think Tony Romo's great. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that there are too many times in big games where he's just like, yeah, I kind of would go for it here, but maybe I wouldn't.
Yeah, say it.
Yeah.
You're there to say it.
What are we doing?
It's like when the ref official comes in and goes, well, I don't know. This is a tough one. No, you're here to tell me if it's a catch or not.
Right.
And also,
who cares if you're wrong? No one cares.
Every play is the biggest play of the game at the end of the game. And it's like it all comes down to this. And then they get a first down, and then 3 plays later, it all comes down to this. And it's like you can't have that many. Like if it's a 4-down territory, 3rd down is not where it all matters. And it's a little annoyances, but I also think Troy to me is the best that I have heard in my watching career. And I include John Madden in that and all that stuff. And I love John Madden. But ever since I've been watching football since 2022, Troy right now is the best that I've heard.
He's consistent. I am a kind of a Collinsworth guy too. I think Collinsworth is real
quick. I've gone back and watched way too many old Cowboys games because I'm a loser, but a lot of stuff Madden did would get destroyed today.
Yeah, I agree.
You circling turduckens and stuff like that, when people want to know football now, like that stuff would not fly all the time. And I'm not saying that he wouldn't still do it, but the blowback he'd get from a social media era, he would put some of that away to be like, no, I am a Super Bowl winning head coach. I need to talk about why they're running this defense right now in this situation. Like that stuff, you can do a little bit of it, but you could not do it all game long, circling Troy Aikman's face and being like, he said he's going to grow a beard this week. And if you look right here, like, I mean, this stuff is all legit stuff. And it's fun. Don't get me wrong. And him and Summerall are the goat of goats. But I'm saying it's tough to compare today's era of broadcaster to then. It's way different.
The monetization of the game also would mean that a corporate executive is also giving him more notes than he ever got.
Yeah.
He was able to run free back in the day. The amount
Which
of
was great
consulting
for
these
Nate
guys
Newton.
have to deal with is probably nuts.
Great for Nate Newton.
Last thing I have on this, though, is how weird it felt for Troy and Joe to be calling Steelers Texans.
Just any Monday night
Didn't
game.
you like
still
want to
feels
turn
weird.
on Bears Packers and have Joe and Troy calling that, or turn on
Yes.
Eagles 49ers and have them calling that game? Like, it just felt the play-by-play and the color guys didn't really match up with the matchups this year as much.
For
as
Bears
in
Packers, 4th and 8, everything's on the line. Caleb Williams rolling out like that. You got to have Al Michaels on that call.
And Herbie. And you want the college guy Herbie there.
Hey, rolls out, complete. and hey, to be fair, Al is a goat too. It just, you can tell where he's at
legend.
now in his career. It's not, I
Yeah.
don't think he's that excited about calling these games anymore.
Yeah. Would you rather have Joe Montana right now or Tua? I'd take Tua.
You know, I would also say I'm just getting real frustrated with my NFL watching. Why do I have to go to a different streaming platform after each quarter? I'm just not sure. I think we've gone too far. Wait, you're telling me after the first quarter I have to flip it over to Amazon and then you go back to CBS for the third quarter? Is anyone following me here?
I said this to KT,
Am I
but
screaming into the abyss?
we got to find a way to get Kevin Harlan one of these playoff games. I think he's
He does it on radio.
so
Yeah, he's good.
I know he does it for Westwood One, but we got to find a way to get him on national
He's
TV.
the guy.
He's so good at play-by-play that he sounds like AI to me.
Uh,
Like he sounds like a video game. He's so good.
I'm taking Buffalo. There you go. It's
All
our year. No Mahomes, no Burrow, no Lamar. I'm taking Buffalo. You have Josh Allen. You have Bo Nix. I'll take Josh Allen. Let's go to
I don't know.
Sod.
I mean, you could have Aaron Rodgers. The other guy can have C.J. Stroud. But if your defense is that good, you can fumble 5 times and still win. But sorry, go on.
Seattle 7.5 point favorites. Feels like a lot.
It does feel like
It does feel like a lot.
Sod.
I want you to go first on this.
Okay.
I went before you last.
I'll go San Francisco plus 7.5.
Okay.
Even with the Kittle injury.
Okay. I'm gonna go San Francisco as well. But I expect Seattle to win the game.
I
I
just-
just don't think it's gonna be by 7.5.
Points. Kent.
Yeah, give me San Fran to cover.
John, will you be the lone Seattle guy?
I want you guys to have a chance to catch up, so give me Seattle.
All right.
There is also a belief that I have in
Darnold?
sports betting that whenever you think that the line is ridiculous, they know something. Roll with it. So yeah, give me Seattle.
Well, you think the Kittle thing's just too devastating?
Maybe, yeah,
they can't
maybe
get over
that,
it?
or maybe just the matchup between the two. There's something there. Playing in Seattle, noise factoring in, and how that could cause some issues with San Francisco's communication. I don't know.
They did shut them down really bad. That was it, Week 18 game. That was that does not inspire a lot of confidence for San Francisco.
But yeah, that is a lot of points for a playoff game.
New England, this game is 3. I've made it 3.5. New England, 3.5 point favorites against Houston. Sod, we'll start with you.
Give me New England. Yeah, I think the Texans defense is legit, but I think Drake May's the real deal.
Kent.
Yeah, Drake May.
I have something about this game is not a night game. And Mike Vrabel, as a coach in the playoffs, has yet to win a day playoff game. He's only won night playoff games. And I think that Houston defense is actually good enough to go all the way. So I'm taking Houston plus 3.5. And John, you're last.
Yeah, I hate picking road teams in the playoffs, but yeah, I agree with you. I think the Houston defense is too good, and I like Drake May a lot, but there was a little, I don't know, deer in the headlights maybe a little bit in that first game, and now that the stakes are only higher, just because he's so young, give me the
Tough.
Texans. It is tough though.
Bears at home against the Rams. The Bears are getting 3.5 points. A 3.5 point underdog at home to a
Yeah.
team that just beat the Panthers by 3. I have some questions about the lines this week. Not the Lions, the lines. I will start first, and I will go ahead and tell you, though, I think... You
sounded so confident.
And then I just started to remember like how ass the Bears looked for about 3/4 of that game.
And the confidence that you can have in a comeback because of the team you're facing, because you've seen them so many times.
Getting the points. Bears
I think
plus 3.5.
One of the craziest
Ugh.
stats. One of the craziest stats that I saw this week of all the wild card action that went on is that in the 3 games that the Bears and Packers played each other, the Bears took 0 offensive snaps with the lead. 0. And
That
they
just-
went 2-1 against
Yeah.
the Packers, but
Come
they
on,
took
man.
0 offensive snaps with the lead. That's incredible.
Come on, Ernie. Oh, it hurts. Bears plus 3.5. I'll give them the points and have a good time. John.
I'm Team Stafford.
I knew it. I
Give
knew
the
it.
Rams,
I knew
baby.
it. Rams minus 3.5.
I love how I've watched his entire career.
Yeah.
Going back to Georgia, and have rooted for him throughout. And I always love when things happen and how much credit everybody else gets. And it's just like, well, if you go back and connect all the dots, there's somebody that this all leads
Yeah.
to. But it's always like, look at this catch by Higbee. Look at this catch by Beckham. Oh my God, how great is Puka Nacua? How great is Cooper Kupp? Calvin Johnson? All this. I'm like, man, that's weird. Nate Burleson was great. He got Kenny Galladay paid. Like,
Yeah.
the dude's amazing. Like,
Sod?
Yeah, give me the Rams. I think.
and he has to deal with Kelly. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, give me the
I
Rams.
don't want to do a podcast.
I really hope this is not Stafford's last year. I really hope
No
he comes
way.
back.
There's no way.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way. And I think the way that he's playing is phenomenal. I think the fact that the Rams somehow now have a 2-headed monster in the backfield with Kyron Williams and Blake Corum is unfair. And then on top of that, Sean McVay is just elite. I mean,
Yeah.
he has Devontae Adams, he has Puka Nacua, and then all of a sudden he's throwing out 3 tight end sets and moving the ball down the field with that. It's ridiculous. And also, side note, another ridiculous stat from this week is that Sean McVay has played a different team in the playoffs every
Oh, wow.
single game. He's never
Wow.
played the same opponent twice. This
That
is
is
like
crazy.
his 16th playoff game, 16 different opponents.
Cowboys were one of them. How about
Yeah.
that?
But anyways, yeah.
So
the
Jalen Rams.
Yeah. give me
I
the
haven't
Rams.
heard a lot of this like ever come out, but I guarantee you behind the scenes when that trade happened and the idea of putting Stafford with McVay, the rest of the league had to be so pissed off.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they were hanging out in Cabo together.
Oh, it's
Come
tampering.
on. What are we doing
It's absolutely tampering.
here? It worked out well, though. for
Worked out
both,
fine
so,
for both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sort of. They're still working on it in Detroit.
they are. They are.
Kent?
It would be nice to have Matthew Stafford still, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, I'll go Rams.
Wow. Okay. I always thought Kent was more of a
I don't
Bears
know that,
guy.
I don't know that Ken has ever picked against the Rams because of that Ram It song.
Of course. That is a great song.
It is classic.
Who'd you take? Casey?
I took the Bears in the
Okay.
points.
Okay.
I know who I want to win that game. So, all right.
Oh, you
there
don't
it
want to
is.
see the Bears go on like a long run, like a dynasty, 3 Super Bowls in 5 year type thing?
It just feels like we're on the cusp of something really, really disgusting.
Wait, can I ask you a question?
I don't want it.
Packers fan.
Yeah.
What's your take on the whole Ben Johnson thing?
Oh, I love
You got.
I love
right?
Ben Johnson, and the reason I know that I'm going to hate Ben Johnson is because I love Ben Johnson.
Okay.
My point. Like, I as a Packers fan, I hated Randy Moss,
Yeah.
and I'm not dumb enough to realize that he's the greatest. I think he's the greatest wide receiver ever, honestly. But like, when there's someone that good,
I
I'm
will say this,
scared
I
of how
thought
good
this-
he's going
I
to
thought
be.
the handshake was kind of weak on Ben Johnson's part. A lot of people praised him for that. He kind of weaseled his way out of it. Instead
Yeah.
of like, you just won, just give him a firm handshake, look him in the eye. Like the way he kind of weaseled out of it and then dove out, I was just kind of like, I don't know.
The handshake, I didn't like the F the Packers and all that stuff. Love
Well,
that.
so here's my problem with Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson is a guy who might need to create a narrative in his head because he was doing the whole. We've heard a lot of noise. We heard a lot of noise. Dude, Green Bay didn't say anything
Yeah.
because they don't have anyone now that Mike is gone. They don't have anyone that talks to the media.
Right.
So,
But I think every coach does that.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
just like
they
I was
always-
like,
they always try and get you. Nick Saban was doing that at Alabama. Like he would try and get his guys thinking like that they were the underdog.
I was like, yeah, oh yeah, we said something. We embarrassingly lost to you last time. No one
Yeah.
was saying anything in Green Bay. I also think Matt LaFleur should keep his job. A lot of people. I mean, that's the thing. We live in a caveman society where if you don't get to where you want with your team, it's fire the coach.
Would you rather have LaFleur Mike Tomlin, or John Harbaugh,
LaFleur. And 100, like, unequivocally.
or Cliff Kingsbury,
Are there things that need to change? Yes.
or Mike McCarthy comes back,
No.
or Jason Garrett.
And the only thing that I would take as a possible upgrade would be hiring Jeff Halfley, who might go get a job. If you think he's a long-time
Mike
head coach
McDaniel?
type, and Mike McDaniel at OC, because I
Yeah.
think that would mesh well with what they're doing on offense. But
I think that's what the Cowboys probably wanted with Robert Saleh,
Mhm.
that you pair him with
Schottenheimer.
Shoddy, and
that would have been great.
yeah,
That would have been something to do. But
they did something.
They did something. And I'm a believer. I'm on the shoddy train. So
The Schottenheimer stuff is fine. For me, it's this defensive hire. I like the process that they're going through this year a lot more than they did last year. That's not anything against Schottenheimer at all. I'm not even talking about the hire. I'm talking about the process. When you have Ben Johnson out there and he's that offensive mind that he is, you have to interview him.
yeah.
Even if there's a 0% chance you are going to pay what it takes, and there's a
Right.
0% chance
Which there was,
that
yeah.
he's going to choose you, I understand that. But just as a formality, you pick the brain of that and take it into your future and let Schottenheimer know, like, hey, this is what this guy. There are a few guys that when they actually are in the cycle, you know they're gonna hit.
Yeah.
And Shanahan was one back in like 2017, whatever that was. You knew that he was going to be the guy. Every team, and you have to understand, like, you don't get that opportunity very often.
Sure.
Head coach to interview a head coach, like you. So I like the fact they're casting a wide net. I don't know who they're going to hire at DC, but they should interview everyone.
Yeah. No doubt.
You think there's enough time to interview everyone?
No, but they should interview a different pool of candidates. Like it should
They haven't
be.
talked to me at all.
I would like to I've got some ideas for the defense.
Yeah.
And I want to run a 110.
I don't know what I'll do
Right.
on game day, but I can get the guys going during the week in the meeting room.
Oh, you can get them fired up, get some
Yeah.
speeches, get some PowerPoints,
Yes.
show
I'll
a
be
couple
ready for
YouTube
that.
videos, maybe a Bruce Springsteen story.
I'm not a real
Seen that
scheme
work?
guy. I'm more of a
Yeah.
kneecaps biting guy.
Yeah, and he keeps fighting.
Yeah.
Scheme out. It's a weird too. He could be that guy.
Yeah.
He can't have any ideas on the scheme. He
No.
just eats steak.
And
That's
it just
all.
and it just gets so boring. There's like another Wednesday meeting. He's
There we go
bringing
again.
out the sledgehammer and the watermelons
Oh
again.
my God.
Jesus.
All right,
That's
that's
already.
That's enough for us to check us out. Check out John and Sod over at The Athletic. Check out Ken on the Mad About Movies podcast. We do a podcast once a week here at the Haymaker Network. Give that a like and subscribe on YouTube, if you will. Share that podcast around. We'd really appreciate it. And we will catch up with you next week. For John, for Sod, for Ken, I'm Kevin. See you next time on the One Star Cowboys podcast. Goodbye.
The One Star Cowboys Podcast. The One Star Cowboys Podcast. The One Star Cowboys Podcast. Presented by Haymaker. Presented by Haymaker. Presented by Haymaker.